We have a Coppola questions before we move on.
It's just because it's fresh in my mind because we just finished talking about the movie. But like, is Astro Boy like back at full strength? Because is the core completely re-energized?
I guess so.
From just getting a little bit of juice back from Zog?
I mean, I'm guessing it's like a perpetual motion machine or something. It charges itself up and infinite energy type of thing. He just used all of it to destroy the red core, and because there happened to be a little bit of blue left in Zog, he could just kickstart the engine and get it going again. It's kind of how I felt it was.
So like, presumably the other core still exists, but it's not infused with any red energy anymore.
Right.
So I guess if President Stone didn't infuse anything else with red energy, then it's dead forever.
Mm-hmm. That's what you could assume. Might have come back in the sequel, but
yeah, sure.
If they're playing by the same rules, then it would seem that, if there was any red energy anywhere, then they could kickstart the red core again.
Why would Tenma and his team have to rely on President Stone for funding when the population is completely reliant on robots? And he's the one who invented all of them, apparently. Like Tenma's kind of overseeing this whole robot revolution. Because like Charlize Theron and her 5 lines, she said that they have Dr. Tenma to thank for everything, like all of these robots.
Yeah. And we know he doesn't really need the money anymore because he talks about he's going to just retire and raise the new Toby bot. So it's like he doesn't really need it. He just does it because he likes it, I guess, or he likes his work.
Yeah. I get the sense that there's a lot of like wars going on that are all just fought between people and robots somewhere, probably in, the places where wars are happening right now in real life. That's probably where they're sending the robots to fight wars that they don't want to fight. So that's probably where most of the money comes from. Not, this utopia world that's floating in the sky is only one small part of their reality because it's just a tiny little city versus the entire planet. Which, like, I thought they were going to set up that, like, the planet was basically empty. And most of life actually lived up here. But then we find out that life is, they're fucking ordering pizza and shit. So, like, life is just going on like normal.
The pizza was out of the garbage. So it was like it was thrown away by people in Metro City. Like, they're reliant on all the garbage, including people just throwing away food.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. It's clear why in the movie it survived, but how the hell did Toby's hat survive? Like, there's no way. All of his clothes are gone. His shoes are gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Unless the hat is made out of fucking adamantium or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There is no explanation other than we needed it for his DNA to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Which you could have had, like, him handing it to Oren before he went in to come in or something. Like,
or he left it outside or something. It got knocked off of him.
Yeah.
When he
left
fell
it in the broom closet.
The room. Yeah.
We kind of talked about this in the moment, but what was with Toby being able to understand the robot window cleaners? Because it seems like everyone is able to understand the robots in every other scene, but we just needed it to be this thing. It was almost like they were going to do this big reveal of like, oh, he can hear the robots, but we never established that the robots speak a different language.
I thought it was just all the robots that we see that are interacting with humans are programmed to talk to humans because they need to interact with it. And then there's like service class robots that just don't speak, or they're not programmed to talk to humans because they don't need to. Like, you don't need to hear what a squeegee bottle is saying, I guess, to clean your windows.
There's only so much time for exposition, but like that would have been a really easy thing to like just add some noises and then suddenly he hears what they're saying,
Yeah.
Is Toby programmed with the 3 rules of robotics? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because Tenma would want him to be as human as possible while he was making him. So that he would violate his own, Asimov's, I guess. But I'm assuming he follows the rules too when he's making other robots.
You would think, yeah.
But I would guess in the case of Toby Bot that he didn't put those restrictions in there, especially because if he was designing him to be able to defend himself, if he was being attacked by humans, he would need to harm the humans who were attacking him to defend himself.
Yeah. Like I said, it just opens up a can of worms. What if Toby is corrupted? What if Toby is infused with the red energy? Like he's just gone on the rampage, and he's obviously much more powerful than every other robot on Earth, including the Peacemaker, which was like size of fucking Mecha Godzilla, and like he just is like punching it in the face and holding his own. So it's a terrifying. Another terrifying thing in this already terrifying reality that we have established here. And aliens exist, apparently, based on that last scene. So, I don't know, man. Could have gone along a lot of different ways with a sequel to this, but, we know how that went.
Yeah.
I cannot, that's a big Coppola question. Why did you spend $65 million to make Astro Boy?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it from a normal movie, that's not a lot of money. Like a normal Hollywood movie, I guess. But for an animated film, that is quite a bit of money on a property that's basically been stale for 40 years.
Yeah.
And never
big gamble,
been like, I assume, it's been successful. It's still around, but I don't think it's ever been like a smash hit in the US or other markets aside from Japan.
Yeah.
So.
And Japan was like, why are you guys trying to make a better version of what we've already made?
Yeah.
Which was probably 1,000 times better. I haven't watched their Astro Boy movies, but like I'm assuming
it just seems like a vanity
one from
project.
2003.
Whoever was making it really liked Astro Boy and wanted to make an American movie of it, and kind of, I would conjecture, but that colors their opinion to the point thinking it might be more popular in the U.S. if more people were exposed to a new version of it, maybe. And again, on paper, it's like get this big cast of big names to be in this movie that looks exciting, and kids love it. It's a smash hit, but then you kind of make a middling movie that's not that great, and the word of mouth will kill it, and no one cares about it 10 years on.
It felt like there for a while, like they were making animated films just kind of laissez-faire because they were just like, well, people will go to these no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're not that great, the people are going to go to them. And then we got to a tipping point where we're like, well, no, we recognize that some of these movies are good and some of these movies are really shitty. Like The Ant Bully is not a great movie, but A Bug's Life is a great movie,
Yeah.
So
I guess it also depends on what was out at the same time. If it came out the same weekend or close to another movie that's more popular, it's going to kill it because people are going to go see that instead, especially if there's another kids movie around the time. Like if Pixar had something out or Disney put something out.
This is also an October release. I don't know. It's a weird time to put out a movie that you're trying to make a lot of money off of.
Yeah. Which may have been because there were big names coming out that summer, big kids movies, a Pixar or a Disney film that was coming out or a DreamWorks or something. And so they had to push it off and release it in its own window.
I feel like they were also up against the early MCU at that point, which was killing it at the box office already.
Yeah. 2009, that would have been. Actually, no. Because Thor was 2010. I think Captain America was 2011. I don't think there was anything out.
Was it Iron Man 2? Right at that point?
Iron Man 2. No, that was the first one.
I think
it was still early days. I don't think that the MCU was the runaway hit that it was yet.
I think they were already at like 3 films, though. And I feel like those were already like summer releases at that point. Yeah, no, Incredible Hulk and Iron Man came out like 6 months apart or something like that. They
rushed the Tony Stark cameo at the end of that because they've already filmed Iron Man and they were filming finishing up Incredible Hulk, and then Iron Man had come out, I think, and they were doing like post-production for Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man was so popular they were like, oh shit, we got to put him into the Incredible Hulk to get people to care about this. So they filmed that end credits scene after Iron Man had come out. So, but I don't know. It seems like $65 million is chump change for a big movie. So you would think, it just needed a decent box office return and it would have made money, but it just didn't even get that.
Yeah. It seemed like on paper, it seems like something that would have done really well. Maybe not really well, but at least like 150 million or something like that.
I just think the name recognition is not there. It didn't have great word of mouth. The review scores were not good. People just weren't. There was no drive for people to go see it.
Yeah. My final question is, why didn't Stone die from being absorbed into the Peacemaker? And why does the Peacemaker have his personality rather than its own personality? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Be a huge design flaw if whatever you absorb takes over your robot.
Yeah.
Maybe they're melded together somehow, but he is clearly in control of the robot the entire time.
It almost feels like an abandoned plot point where he programmed his own personality into it or something, because he was the one driving to make that the big, he had the big push to make that robot come out to help his reelection or whatever vague warmongering thing they wanted to go with. But yeah, it's just sort of, there was a ton of shit in that last like 15 minutes of the movie that just sort of happened. Yeah. And you're just supposed to watch it and accept it, I guess.
And so many plot holes and things that were just thrown away, stuff that was established that was just chucked out the window, and which is not common for a movie that's only 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like to set up things and chuck them out.
That's my biggest critique with it, which I'll get to in my rating. What happened with Cora? That was my big one. Like, did she run away from home?
Yeah,
I guess because because the way she was talking about it, it seemed like they abandoned her because she didn't, for one reason or other, and she was still trying to call home and nobody was answering and stuff. But like, when she meets up with her parents conveniently at the end, they're happy to see her, and it's like they don't know where she went, and it's like we looked everywhere for you, which they didn't, because she's literally been calling their house and they haven't been answering. So that was one of those plot lines that just sort of was there, but then not treated properly and not resolved or explained.
I got the feeling that she ran away and she regretted it immediately, but now she's stuck and can't get back. But Hammock has a car that can drive up to Metro City.
They can constantly see Metro City. It's like, I guess part of it is like Metro City doesn't allow people from the surface to come back up. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Because otherwise Hammock would have just gone home, and he can't.
Well, that's what he's trying to do, isn't he? Like at the end.
I don't know. He's I guess, but I think at the end he just leaves and goes somewhere else on Earth. Like, just drives off. That's one of my other questions, I guess. What's next for Hammock? Like, what's?
I mean, it's just kind of the same, like a snake oil salesman. You just pack up, you go to the next town, and you start the same ruse all over again. Yeah, because he knows robotics. He can make robots and stuff, so he probably just continues on. Yeah, and doesn't face any consequences for his actions. So, well, now the Metro City people are on Earth, so maybe they'll stop him. I don't know. Maybe he would have been in the sequel, I guess. Yeah, he can create a robot army and I don't know. My other one is like, why? We talked about it a little bit. Why is the robot revolution front in the movie? Like they serve no purpose other than comic relief. And like you said, they show up like 3 or 4 times just to do something stupid and funny and slapstick, and then they have no effect on the plot whatsoever, other than to bring up uncomfortable questions about robot rights in this world and where they go from there and what happens to them. And I kind of wonder about that. Of like, maybe it was just to make people realize like the robots have feelings and that they're tired of being treated like trash, and like, but they made them the stupidest characters in the whole film. Right. You could have done that with that. That was part of Astro Boy's journey, is like he was rejected and thrown out by his own dad. So you could have easily been like, yeah, this happens to every robot. They just get thrown off like garbage. They don't need to have like a weird group of inept British robots that are trying to lead a revolution and just played like slapstick comedy relief. It's just like, in a movie that already has too much going on, that also felt like something that was an abandoned plot point. I do feel like it was mostly just because there are a lot of like really dark themes and they wanted some levity here and there. Yeah, but that's not even that, like, as an adult when you watch it, you're like, yeah, okay, so there's robots that are so disenfranchised with their shitty station in life that they're trying to create a revolution, but they literally can't because they're programmed against it. Like, yeah. That's horrifying. That's horrifying as well, yeah. So many things in this reality that are so fucked up. that they just kind of gloss over and don't really talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess it's just best not to think about it. Mm-hmm. But I think that's the whole point of Astro Boy in general, is to make you think about these larger issues and also atomic war and all that kind of stuff. Like that's sort of I think what's going on here is partially like the Earth isn't inhabitable because of that kind of stuff, and like that was kind of Japanese fiction in general for a long time, was like kind of like telling these horrifying reality possible futures through the guise of science fiction,
right?
Which obviously is why Astro Boy was created. That's why Godzilla exists and all that kind of stuff.
They're all allegories for real world evils, I guess. Let's say, but you feel like you can still do it in this movie. Just maybe tone down 3 or 4 of those plot points. Like don't include all those stories. Just have it focus around Astro Boy and his abandonment after becoming a robot, and like trying to come to grips with that and figure out his own place, and have his dad have a change of heart and have society kind of improve for the better. But you didn't have to have all this other stuff, all this other window dressing that is sort of there to fluff out the story and make things happen.
Yeah, it's a rather large cast for what this story is, and like it's only like 90 minutes. It's just like the big question of like, why get Charlize Theron to be the narrator
compared to the Ant Bully, it's the same
and
length as the Ant Bully.
Yeah,
and the Ant Bully has way less going on and feels a lot tighter and serviceable because of it.
Yeah,